Exactly what Republicans feared was going to happen is exactly what is happening now that Democrats got a massive win. And what is that win? Well, Democrats are now contesting to the fact that illegal immigrants are not counting on the U.S. Census. And so now they're wanting the numbers to count, which means electoral college votes, means congressional seats. All these things are going to change over the next few years. So I'm going to break that down in today's video, explaining what is going on and what many Republicans are saying about this. So make sure you stick around and watch this entire video, because what is happening today is going to impact our country for the next few years. So we'll get to that in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So a major thing happened just recently. Democrats defeated the GOP effort to stop undocumented migrants from being counted in the U.S. Census. What we now know is exactly what Republicans feared, that Democrats were going to allow illegal immigrants into the United States, and then they're going to use them and benefit off of them by them being able to use their numbers to get more seats and this is a big one, to get more electoral college votes, especially in upcoming elections. Just listen to this. This I think is very interesting. This was on Sunday Morning Futures, so it was just the other day. But listen to this.
Well, 94 executive orders to allow illegal immigrants easier access to the United States. He's surrendered the border. And a lot of it has to do with the fact of the census. Joe Biden and the Democrats want all the illegal immigrants counted in the census, Maria. And here's why. The census is used to calculate out congressional seats, how many seats each state gets, as well as the members of the Electoral College, how many Electoral College votes each state gets.
He's willing to trade the safety of America, whether it's terrorism, whether it's drugs, whether it's other crimes. He's willing to, he being Joe Biden, willing to trade all of that to get more Democratic votes so that they can control Congress and they can control the presidency.
Now, I want to touch on that for a moment, because what they are both saying that President Biden and Democrats obviously planned for this. They wanted this to happen because they know there's a few ways that you can impact an election. One, get more people to vote. That's the easiest way. The second way is you bring more people into your state or into the U.S. and give them voting rights. Well, guess what? If we cannot give all these illegal immigrants voting rights because they're illegals, and you can only have voting rights, well, again, you gotta be a citizen. There's other ways as well. Anyway, we're not getting to that today. But if that's the easiest way, is to just be able to vote, well, the problem is they can't. So how do you impact the elections from there? Well, you pack certain states. Get people to move out of Republican states, go into a Democratic state, because now those Democratic states have more of a population. Larger population, more seats, more votes. Just look at this. I want to show you this image really quick. I thought this was interesting. From 2020 to 2022, 802,181 people, more people, left California than moved in. They almost lost 1 million people. That is a huge, huge number. But that's just a small fraction of what we are seeing right now. Because what we are seeing right now, people are moving to California, they're moving to New York. Why? They're moving to those states because California is giving you free health care if you're a low-income immigrant. New York is giving you free housing. They're not kicking you out of shelters. They say they are, but they're not. All you got to do, go get an ID, go and just be a good citizen. You'll treat the shelter well, right? That's it. Or if you have family, a wife, children, you get a stay. It's not a 30-day policy at that point. It's not a 30-day stay. So that's huge. But now New York City thinks the Census Bureau estimates missed tens of thousands of asylum seekers. So guess what? They want them recounted. They want those people counted because asylum seekers count. That's what we're hearing. The crazy part about all this stuff that's happening right now is that we are going to continue to see this over the next year until the election is over. And if the election goes the way Democrats plan and Democrats win the presidency, they don't necessarily need to win the House and the Senate, but they have to keep the presidency. President Joe Biden has to remain in office, and if he does, then things are really going to change. Okay? But, and again, I don't say they're going to change for the better. We're going to see a lot of illegal immigrants are now going to be counted towards the census. But here's the crazy part. What's happening right now, and we know this, and we've known this for quite some time, is in certain areas, we are seeing they're growing faster. For instance, 4 of the nation's fastest growing metro areas are in Florida. Think about this for a second. Florida is growing faster than many other states. Texas is growing faster than many other states. New York, California, they're losing a lot of people because of taxes, because of crime, because of immigration, right? Because of politics in general. They're losing a lot of people. But if they are losing people and Florida and Texas start gaining more people, guess what? Florida and Texas are now being seen as, well, they're growing, their population's getting bigger, so now they have more voting rights, right? More electoral college votes. Well, in the future they will. But right now, guess what they have? As you get a higher population, that means you also get more money. You get more money from the federal government as your population grows. Guess what? New York and California, they are not going to accept the fact that Texas and Florida are getting more money. They want the money themselves. But while all this is happening, we are still seeing the U.S. southern border is just a massive, massive issue. Okay? It's a huge mistake that's going on down the U.S. southern border. For instance, just today, we learned that a migrant was caught at the border and claimed to be a Hezbollah terrorist. Well, he said his intention was to go to New York and build a bomb. How crazy is that? And we're just going to allow this to happen? Well, the interesting thing about all this is that, and exactly what those lawmakers said, is that President Biden knew this. He did 93 executive actions. Every single one of those made it easier to come across the border. Made it it wasn't much of a deal. People are not being reprimanded because of it. They're not being thrown in jail. They're not being sent back to their countries. They're pretty much getting a slap on the wrist, and that is it. So what's interesting about what's going on right now is Republicans have called this out for months. They said this was going to happen. Guess what? It's happening right now. There's nothing Republicans can do about it. Democrats keep on blocking any effort that Republicans have to go and block the fact that legal immigrants could potentially be counted for the census. But that's where we're at. So again, things are happening right now, but the things that are happening are not necessarily the best things for the United States. So we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is I will be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.